dry season so far this year, so how are the plants holding out?
Well, we will see. Chad joins us from his garden, and he has a very special guest joining him today, Sports Director Mike Cleff. Hi, guys.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mike Cleff is here along myself. You know, Mike, you can now kind of cross this off your bucket list.
Absolutely. I'm a kid in a candy store, and Chad, I've watched you work out here so often, so hard. It looks great, and I know obviously you've been talking about the drought and the effect on so many things. So Chad, I know this is your stage here, but how has the drought starting off with affected the cold weather plants?
Yeah, like cool weather crops like the broccoli, spinach, lettuce, Mike, those are hurting. In fact, they're bolting very quickly. That means they're blooming, they're going to seed. They're going to be plowed up here soon, at least the leafy stuff. The broccoli, you can see it blooming. I've been picking heads off of it. But once it gets so hot and so dry, it goes into survival mode, and it wants to start producing seeds. So that's why the broccoli and all that's blooming now.
Well, and then on the other side, how's the drought and dry air affected what you call the warm weather plants?
Actually, it's been very well. You know, those sunflowers, I've never seen sunflowers bloom so early, Mike. Usually it's late June and July, and you know, sunflowers, their genetic origin is the central U.S., Central Plains, so they can handle drier weather. They do pretty well in it, and also we've had tomatoes that have been blooming and starting to produce as well. In our native wildflower garden, notice as we pan back here, those look like a bunch of weeds. I guarantee they're not. Those are native prairie, tallgrass prairie wildflowers, and the seed has come from little prairies along railroad tracks we've had here in our viewing area. And from gray-headed coneflowers, we've got Jerusalem artichokes in there, oxeye sunflowers. Some of you may be familiar with some of these native plants. They are handling the drought very, very well. So those are virtually drought-proof, and also our sunflowers are pretty drought-proof too.
Chad, you're so much of an expert in this. What's the best way, in your opinion, to drought-proof your garden?
You know, I would mulch everything.
Really?
You know, just mulch it. It gets rid of weeds. It keeps the soil moisture very consistent. And, you know, once I clear out all this spinach, Mike, and the lettuce and plant peppers in there, I'm probably just going to mulch it to combat what's looking to be a pretty dry and hot summer around here.
Well, and Chad, the dry, warm weather, it's a why question. Why do these prairie plants flourish in this dry, warm weather?
Well, I tell you, they constrict their little stomata in their leaves so they can handle the heat and sun a lot more, Mike. So we're going to send it back. I'm getting wrapped. We could talk about gardening all day, Jeff and Gina, but I better send it back.
Thanks, Chad.
Well, Mike did a great job out there with you, Chad.
He did.
Thank you.
Yeah.